Now, picture this. It is 6 p.m., it's cold, a Saturday night, and me and my neighbor are getting ready to go to the city to watch Mexican wrestling. And there's this big Mexican ring where they're gonna do the wrestling. There's a little bar where you can buy drinks, and there's an outside area where you can buy tacos. It's a Mexican's dream. And I notice these girls on the other side of the map. This was like an adult place. It was late at night, obviously this was going down in the city. It was an 18 plus event. And so basically there was one point where one of the wrestlers or one of the announcers of the wrestling match was in the middle of the ring earlier, and he was pouring tequila shots into random people's mouths who wanted it in the audience. Before she was drinking, she was tame, she was calming the crowd. Then after they poured the tequila in her mouth, she was like, ah! And I remember talking to my neighbor about it. I'm like, something along the lines of like, he said, I found them hot. And I was like, I don't find them hot. And then all of a sudden, she stops by me and she says, oh, what, like, why are you sitting out here? Out here? I'm fumbling even my sentence right now. Anyway, we had some conversation about that. And I soon discover that it's not my thing. Just don't really care for it, you know? Like, I'm kind of more into making YouTube videos and, you know, doing nothing but making YouTube videos. I just don't think it's really my thing. And then she was like, oh, that's fair enough. Like, it's not for everyone. Everyone, you know, enjoys different things. Meanwhile, I'm outside just sitting there like a loser. I'm talking to a girl. Not a guy, by the way, just like to clarify. From me, the demon, the dog. And I didn't even ask for her number, her Instagram or anything. That was it. And so she was gone. So that was it. I'm never gonna see this girl again. Now, having gone by, I'm like, there's no way this night's gonna lead to anything that I'm not enjoying it, basically. And then I'm booking an Uber to go back home and I'm like, oh, well, at least I get to go home and get to bed and whatnot. I'm waiting on the side curb. I call an Uber, right? I'm standing there, I'm waiting. And then I glance to my right. I see a sidewalk and I see a bunch of girls kind of laughing and walking down towards my direction. And I'm like, okay, there's a bunch of girls there. That's something that exists in this world, I guess. So anyway, I'm standing on the side curb and I notice this girl's coming towards me. And I'm like, okay, what's happening here? And she comes up to me and she says hi. And I'm like, what is going on? And she's like, what do you think of my friend over there or whatever? It's her birthday. And I'm like, what are you guys up to? And she's saying that they're going to a pub for her friend's birthday. And she's like, you should come with us. And it's a group of girls. And she says this to me, you should come with us. And then I'm like, oh, I just booked my Uber. And she's like, oh, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going home. And she's like, oh, well, you can cancel it. So she is trying to get me to come. And I'm just like, like my Uber's here already. And then she goes, like, she's like, that's boring. Come on. I'm like, oh, like I gotta go. And then I get in the Uber and I leave these girls. And my Uber driver's like, are those girls your friends or something? And I tell him, I'm like, they were telling me to go to a pub with them because it was one of their friend's birthday. They wanted me to come with them. And he was like, what? He was like, what are you doing in the Uber? Let me turn you back around and drop you off. And I'm like, what? What, Uber driver? But I had my night like mapped out, you know? I make Clash videos in my room 24/7. I don't go out. And then this one Mexican fucking event. And this happens. Right, guys? Am I just coping right now? And you have to go with the flow, otherwise you regret it and you end up being like me. Dagger Duchess is nerfed. Why is everybody playing Hog Rider? Why is everybody playing Hog? Why is everybody playing Hog?